Hello and welcome back to the Reapers. So we have another tactical debrief for you. This should be a pretty good one. So the mission yesterday was, if you remember, we have a bunch of blue guys, I think about 14 guys, all in 3rd gen jets, so no modern F-15s or flankers or anything like that. And we had to attack a Navy fleet and port over here, about 100 miles away. The Reds got 4 times Su-33s, which take off from a carrier over here. And it was an exceedingly difficult mission. In fact, before we even started, we realised we were going to lose it, but we gave it our best shot. So just to roughly tell you what the plan was and what the hostiles are equipped with, they've got a huge SAM net. As you can see, this massive SAM net that covers about, I thought it was 40 miles, but it looks more like 60 miles. So there's a massive SAM net from their ships and aircraft carriers. Also immense, if we can kind of zoom in a bit here. Okay, so here's the port. So they've got various vessels, and a lot of them had SAM launchers, and the other ones had radar-guarded miniguns, so it was extremely well defended. Plus they had 30 various types of AAA along the ground, and we had to bomb some port buildings in here, and that building there, that ship there, which was the command center. So just in case you haven't watched the movie, the plan was we split our guys into 8 groups, most of them pairs or some of them triples. And our groups were to be spread outside this SAM net, so all at different angles, so a group there, 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 etc. And then we were to time it so that we were all to basically ingress at the same time. That would force the Su-33s to split up and make their cap coverage less effective, and then some of our bombers would be able to get through. And we had various types of bombers. We had Viggen fast bombers, A-10 slow bombers, some F-5 with toss bombs, so we had just about everything covered, hoping that something would get through. So let's get it underway. So you can see we take off, we start working our way into our groups. You can see we've got pairs and triples, like I said. So here was one thing. So before all of us got into place, we had a wildcard Raptor go in and go for an attack with distractions from these guys up here. So these guys up here were a distractor force, and these guys, they were asked to be up high and in con, so they were visible, so they could attract the red cap. So we'll go and focus on that. Stand by. Right, let's run that through. So we've got our wildcard Raptor. He enters the SAM net. He's completely safe from the SAM net because you can see he runs low and he doesn't have line of sight on the SAM radar, so he's perfectly safe, essentially, at least from the SAMs. He's got against him Udarosa, and I think that's going to be recoil in a Su-33, so they're very experienced guys. So they shouldn't be fearful at all of a Harrier. So this was going to be all about tactics if he got this to work. So let's scroll forward a little. So again, I would have expected red guys to have picked Raptor up on the radar, but because he's going so low, literally he's just kept out of the radar line. And then it looks like the red guys go for the bait. It looks like they've seen either A-10 group, which, like I said, are up here to attract attention, or Sherman's group, which are up here to attract attention. And they've turned their back. They're flying lovely together and they're communicating well, but they've turned their back to Raptor. They didn't see him coming in. And it's going to be a beautiful turkey shoot. Obviously, these are heavily armed 4th gen air superiority fighters, and this is just a Harrier which carries self-defense weapons. So it's a great victory for the Blues. Closing. So let's look. So Raptor is a very skilled pilot. Is going to But saying that, he's got a little bit panicky. He's fired a little bit before he should have. Now, he doesn't have any ranging equipment because this isn't an air attack fighter, so he's just judging the distance by eye. And if we look at the distance, he's fired at over 3 miles, which is just too long for an AIM-9. For a cold target, you've really got to be just a smidgen over 2 miles to get a hit with an AIM-9. So I expect them just to run out of gas before they get to the Sukhos, or saying that the Sukhos are going very slow. So they're on fuel-saving detail at the moment, so they're going very slow. They don't realise they're in any kind of combat at the moment, obviously. Yeah, those AIM-9s just run out of gas. So maybe 2.5 miles would have done it. Look at that, look how close that got. So it's closing. Luckily for him, obviously the Sukhos are much faster than the Harrier, but the Sukhos are just in cruise at the moment, so the Harrier can catch up. He's well within firing parameters now. 1.5 miles, and that is going to be a dead Sukhoi. And that is a massive 25% of the hostile force down, which is great. And another, recoil, doesn't react. It should have been burners on, flares out at that point. And he's down 2. Excellent work from Raptor. That's half of the enemies taken down. They can't respawn, so that should have been the mission sealed at that point. What we didn't realise later was how hard the enemy ground forces were going to be, but we'll deal with that later. So, it's a good fight. Let's scroll forward and see what happens next. So, Raptors, after his first victory, is heading in again. Now, he is against Coffee and Wolf Shadow, who have now been alerted to the presence. So, this is going to be a different game this time. This time, we've got flankers coming in that are aware that they're in battle. They're not just cruising around, so Raptor is going to do a head-on on these guys, basically, and obviously it's going to be an unfair fight because we've got 2 area superiority fighters against the Harrier, but we'll see it through anyway. You can tell that these guys are aggressing now because look at their speed, 600 knots instead of 400 knot cruise. So let's see when they fire, etc. So they fired long bombs. What's we've got? It's got an ER, so a long-range radar-guided missile. Now down here at this level, a head-on shot is kind of 6.5 to 7 miles for kill parameters, so it's about twice at what the effective range of this missile is, assuming that Raptor's going to dodge, but I'm not sure how good Raptor's onboard warning systems are on a Harrier. We'll have to see. No, he's defend. No, he's not. He's not going defensive. Not defensive enough. No, he's going straight into it. So he could have dodged pretty easily there, but he's going to try and beat the missiles. 2 ERs. He's putting some angles in. And then he's turned back into the missiles. He's fooled one, but not the other. And he's taken down from a long-range shot. So he could have easily beaten the missiles by turning around and heading out, obviously. But to be honest, there wasn't a great deal of point of doing that because he never would have outrun these fighters anyway. So he was just going in for a suicide run, basically, and got taken out. Right, I don't think much is going to happen. These 2, Wolf Shadow and Coffee, now go this way and harass some of our distractor units, but I don't think any shots are fired, so we won't worry about that for now. So instead, we will skip forward and wait for the main attack. Okay, let's carry on. So to give you a rough description of our tactics, so we had Skadrecker here, the MiG-21, he was Group 1, this over here. Elo and Sherman Group 2 here. Chimera P-Man Group 3 here. Merlin and Seethor Group 4 here. With the Harriers, 3 Harriers here, Group 5. And Saber Vigans, Group 6 here. They just happened to be together. That was due to the plan. We have Hammer of Signorian Cap here. So you can see we're spaced out around the SAMnet. So we're going to come in at all different angles, making it maximum hard difficulty for these 2 flankers to intercept. We also had Wildcard Static here. Static was trying to bomb the command ship with RB-15 long-range anti-ship missiles. And before this scene here, she was kind of mincing around here trying to get a lock on the ship. But she just couldn't get a lock on the ship because it was hidden behind, right inside the docks. So she essentially... I think she ended up getting shot by the SAM, but she couldn't get her missiles off, so we won't worry about that too much. It's just not a suitable mission for anti-ship missiles, this mission. Right, so let's play it through. So at this point, I'm happy that Hammer, my group, have reached our target, have reached our ingress waypoint. At this point, move that forward a little. Yep, so we turn in. I call everyone to turn in, and what you're going to see now is everyone, group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all turn in and attack at the same time. And it puts these 2 Sughois under huge pressure because they're going to probably stick together and they can only attack one of our teams at the end of the day. The others will get through. So let's just roll that forward a little. You see everyone converging beautifully. Sherman made a bit of a cock up by the looks of it. He should have been in really first, if anything, but... yeah, these guys just didn't get a grip of it. They should have been about here by now. So that's a bit disappointing. No, they went the wrong way. What the hell, Sherman? Okay, they just didn't come. That's a disappointment. Never mind, I didn't know that happened. Anyway, let's carry on so we can see... and we've timed it absolutely beautifully, by luck really, that it just so happened these 2 were going cold. Wolf Shadow and Coffee were on the cold leg. Bit of criticism about them. They were sticking together as a wingman pair. Because there was only 2 of them left, that's a little bit dangerous because they will have to turn their back at some point. So it would have been better if they would have got a some sort of bar cap chainsaw on the go. But that's the Reds. I don't really have their look. And Sherman's still not interested in the fight. I'll have to have a word with him about that. I don't know how he managed that. That's not good. Right. Anyway, on to the main event. So we've got Cap and Signori. Stand by. Let me set this up. Right, off we go. Now I'm going to put this in super slow motion so we can have some talking time. So this is Cap coming. I'm a little bit high of my liking, but you see the red dotted line. That means I've got no line of sight on the fleet. When that turns green, I will have line of sight, and I'll then be threatened. So I'm keeping just enough below this hill so that the hostiles are no threat and they can't see me coming. Speed is good. We're transonic now with 640 knots true. Signor is the same. Excuse me. He's 640 knots true as well. So we're maximum stage burner on the Viggen, which is extremely fast plane. Over the peak. And we're now line of sight. So now we're starting to get warnings on our WR system that radar systems are starting to lock onto us. Speed that up a little bit. So we're a couple of miles away now, so we're as fast as we possibly can. I'm up to 660 knots, and out comes the radar-guided phalanx system. So this is I believe it's a 20mm Gatling gun, or several of them, on the ship here, guided by radar. Incredibly difficult to get by, even though it's over a mile, like 1.3 miles away. I'm hit by a couple of 20mm shells. I also got the ZU-23 starting to fire. Look at the amount of AAA that's coming up for me. I'm hit again. I'm bombs off. Signori's got a world of pain coming his way. A little thing maybe that you can learn from. Although you didn't see it, it was a little bit subtle. When I was coming on this ingress here, I wasn't flying straight and true. If you look in the cockpit view from the mission, I was actually going up and down and up and down and up and down like that, which is how I managed to get through this barrage of phalanx fire. It was enough to upset those bullets, because the bullets take, a second or so to travel that time. So those small undulations, not enough to upset my aircraft, but were enough to upset the radar. I don't think Signori did that. I think he just flew straight and true, and I think he paid the price for it. But anyway, let's carry on. So I'm bombs off, and I've got someone will have to tell me what that is. It's some sort of SAM, long-range SAM, obviously, from this ship, and I'm obviously doomed. My bombs are on target. We were bombing buildings there that you can't see. And did that missile hit me? I think the missile hit me, didn't it? And the missile missed. How about that? I dodged it and hit his own unit. That's hilarious. Yeah, lots of hits. You see, that's 5 hits on Signori. More hits. In fact, I think he's pretty much dead. Look how many hits he got, because he wasn't doing the pitch undulations. I think he was just going straight, and so he took, 10 bullets in the face, basically. The last of my bombs is going down. And that is Cap dead at that point. I guess, I think that am I dead? Yeah, I've stopped. So I think that bullet that I did take, that 1 or 2 bullets I did take, was enough to kill my engine, basically, and I overheated and died there, if you remember. Let's have a look at Signore. Yeah, so all of these little squares are damage from Signore, so I just don't think he got through the barrage. He did get his bombs off, bless, so that's well done. Yep, and his bombs were a little bit short. Maybe, I can't really tell. He did make it out, look. Yep, his bombs are on target, well done. And he did make it out, I didn't know that. Oh, and he got hit by more 20mm. And dead. So, in summary, just don't think it was possible to get through there. I mean, how do you get through that phalanx fire? Plus, essentially, infinite SAMs coming out. It just isn't possible. You could argue that you could do it with the BK, the anti-ship missiles didn't work. The ship was protected, so we couldn't use them. We couldn't go above the SAMnet because it goes up to 100,000 feet. We couldn't use the cruise missile BK-90s because they're banned, because they are currently cheating. So there's pretty much no way we could do this, unfortunately. We give it a damn good shot, though, and we got some bombs on target. So at least Hammer, we got something done. Okay, so the next guy in was Skay in his newly purchased MiG-21, so it's the first time he flew it, so let's not expect too much. It's 500 knots, pretty good attack speed. Send it forward. He's terrain masked beautifully, so he's got no line of sight, but he's still on a excellent vector, so good job. Maybe you see a little bit more speed. Whoopsie. Oh, lag. So he's got lag going on. He's not got the best connection. But he's back. Now, remember, stop there. That is the command vessel. That's what he's going for. But in all the excitement, he's got confused. He's got 20 mil coming up from that frigate. More 20 mil coming up from that one. And his rifle. That is KH-66 Grom anti-ship missile. Oh, he's got two of them off before he got hit. And he was annihilated. Look at the storm. Let's just see that again. That was obscene. Look at the storm. All of the ships just blasting away with their phalanxes and SAMs. Look at that. Absolutely awesome. Do the Groms hit? Yes, they hit. We got Grom hits on the carrier. But it's completely superfluous because we weren't going for the carrier anyway. We were going for the command ship. If taking the carrier down was one option, but it would take so many missiles to take it down, it would have taken the entire squad to have taken down that carrier, and then we wouldn't have actually done the mission. So it was pointless going for the carrier. Whoopsie, silly error. Never mind. Let's carry on and look at the next combat. So the infamous friendly fire incident on the red side. Now I haven't had a chance to speak to Wolf Shadow what happened. Something bad happened. So there was a radio message, I guess, that Skay was attacking. And these guys were flying in formation. So there was no... And then he just shot Coffee. I don't know what that was. So I can only assume... Like I said, I haven't spoken to him yet. I can only assume he was trying to lock Skay there. Must have just been within kill parameters. Let me have a look at that again. Skay is alive at the moment. Wolf Shadow's rotating. No, he wasn't really aiming at that guy. He's aiming at Coffee all the time. And that is an R27. Yeah, okay, I see what happened. That's an R27ET. That's a long-range infrared missile. So what Wolf Shadow was trying to do was trying to lock onto the MiG-21 there. They must have got a call that he was coming in. And he's trying to lock, but for some reason he got confused and got Coffee's radar signature. He must have just lost situational awareness of where Coffee was. Coffee must... right, I see. You see Wolf Shadow's going slow, so they miscommunicated here. Wolf Shadow's going slow, 400 knots. Coffee's going fast, 600 knots. So Coffee was burning in to take this guy, while Wolf Shadow forgot to put his burners on, basically. And so that meant Coffee got ahead of Wolf Shadow. Wolf Shadow never saw Coffee going by, so he assumed that Coffee's infrared signature was Skay's infrared signature, and accidentally took the shot at Coffee. So that's a classic case of miscommunication and situational awareness. So the first thing that should be pointed out is they should both have been, when they got the call that Skay was coming in, they should both have been burners on and attacking Skay, so they'll both be going at the same speed. So that means one wouldn't shoot across the other. And the other is Wolf Shadow should know, even if he's not going to put his burners on, should be in communication or should have tally on Coffee, that should notice that Coffee zoomed past him. And then he knows that he's got friendly fire threat in there and has to be extra careful. So it was classic situational awareness loss on Wolf Shadow's part. So it happens, he's down in the logbook now, but let's carry on the mission. Stand by. So next we've got Trash Tender, that's Sabre. So their mission was to go along this canyon here, which they're going through. They're completely safe, you can see no line of sight, to the end there, and then turn in for the attack. But they made an error, and this is really important, and why it's so important to listen in the briefings to exactly what you've got to do. So what they've done is they've lost situational awareness again. They think they're at the end of the canyon. They think they're there, and so they're about to pull over. What they don't realise is they're actually 8 miles or 10 miles in front of the target. So they're about to pull out here, which is nowhere near the target, and they're just going to run straight into the aircraft carrier, which is, of course, what does happen. So that Trash is going to have to take the blame for that one, I'm afraid. That's just a loss in tactical situational awareness. They should have been studying where they were attacking from, and they knew that they had to be coming from here, and they knew that they couldn't be anywhere near the sea or they would die. Which is what's about to happen. Wolf Shadow's about to come in and redeem himself and shoot them down, I believe. So Giraffe's moving in, attack speed is a little slow as well. I was at 650 knots by this point, they're at 550. So I would have liked to see them a bit faster, knowing how dangerous the threat is. So I think they're just about to realise their mistake, their geographical mistake, by which time it's too late. They've got Sammers coming out. It's a miss, good dodge, and a hit. So that's Trash hit. Meanwhile, got ETs coming out from Wolf Shadow. He's tracked them and he's taking them down. Pow! That Vigan down. This one's still flying, but he's going to get... It's not much of a match. R73, close range Fox 2 out, and that's an incredibly good missile, and that's Trash out. So that's good wiping up from the red there. So essentially the Vigans, they pulled in 10 miles too early. It's their own fault. However, that said, even if they'd have gone down the canyon, as per orders, they probably would have run into Wolf Shadow anyway, so they probably wouldn't have even made it that far anyway. But, never mind. Right, let's go forwards a little bit. So you got these two guys are in next. These are a couple of A10s. So Merlin could have actually shot Wolf Shadow down there, but he just never got on top of him. Seethor got on top of him, but that's too far. That's a good 3 miles maybe, and AIM-9 just can't go that far. And Wolf Shadow's going too slow for combat, I think anyway. But he's sending back in. Right, we've got... Where did these missiles come from? So these are different types of missiles. These are long bomb missiles. They shoot up vertically and then come down on the target. Incredibly effective missiles. Let's just see where they were coming from. Okay, they were coming from one, I think it was a destroyer. It was one of these ships here. They were firing missiles up and long bombing someone. I don't know who they were going for. Oh wow, look, they were shooting all the way over at Sherman's lot. And another one there. Wow, look how effective they are. I don't know who they were shooting at, they're all dead now anyway. Right, Wolf Shadow turns back in. It's a shame that Seethor didn't continue the fight. He probably could have downed this Su-27 if he had carried on attacking him, assuming that they had missiles. So this isn't going to end well, obviously. Wolf Shadow comes in. Simple A10 kill. Pow. And he's dead. Finish off with guns. So Chimera could have... Chimera had awareness. He could have popped around here and banged that Sukhoi, but I guess he just didn't see him. Okay, that's that. An A10 went in. An A10 did make it. So let's have a look at that A10. Who was that? Okay. Merlin, good man. So Merlin's the 4th man on target. Max speed 350 knots, that's pretty good. Spraying his guns, spraying whatever. Shooting the wrong ship. I didn't see this, I never got to see this. This is pretty cool. Absolutely menaced by all that fire. Did you see all that fire? That was crazy. One criticism is he was flying in the wrong bloody place. He was attacking this carrier and this ship here, which is wrong. He should have been attacking this ship here and these ports. So he could have come down low, really, hidden behind buildings, and then popped up and done something there. But again, he was off target. Never mind. Chimera, what can Chimera do? Right, so we've got Wolf Shadows fighting again against Gumbo, and so Gumbo and Berwick have done a nice little flanking manoeuvre here. They're coming around this way, which is fine. Unfortunately, they've been spotted. It's good spotting from Wolf Shadow there. Good speed by the Harriers, but Wolf Shadow's burners on now is going to catch up pretty easily. So these guys are now turning to intercept the flanker. 3 miles. So shame Berwick couldn't have got awareness there, could have taken him down. And we have a kill missile on R73 for Berwick. No, sorry, for Gumbo. Gumbo's down. Wolf Shadow, Berwick merge. The Sukhoi much more manoeuvrable and lightly loaded as well, so there's not much of a match. Into rolling scissors. And the Harrier actually got the upper hand. Let's try that again. Into rolling scissors. The Harrier just saw it earlier and made the turn, but now he just hasn't got the wings to do this fight. He just can't turn quick enough. There's no turn rate in a Harrier, especially when it's loaded with bombs. There's very little it can do. So luckily, Wolf Shadow has lost situational awareness, although or of where this guy is, but at least he's relatively fast, so he's getting out of the fight, where there's not much Berwick can do. And Berwick has a beautiful shot. I wish you'd taken that earlier. That would have been a beautiful kill. Head on head, and a double KO. Look at that. Except Wolf Shadow doesn't die. So it's a pretty cool fight there. It's a shame that the Harriers didn't get through. Good work from the Sukhoi. Right, and we did have another man go down there, so let's go and have a look at that. That is Chimera. Let's go and have a look at him. Excellent ingress. Slightly to the left, but okay. Corrects. Sees the target. So it's just a case of getting whatever ordnance you can out quickly before you get shot, because there's no getting out once you get in this basin. Some rockets out. 20 mil coming out, so keep moving. Keep dodging, keep dodging, keep dodging. You can dodge that fire. Dodge the missile. More 20 mil. More stuff, and finally down. Again, there's just only so much you can dodge. Right, that's that. Let's carry on. Wolf Shadow is RTB to the carrier. Finally, Sherman and Gonzalo decide to make a appearance. Way too late, obviously. P-Man's trying to get a lock on here to fire, but every time he does, he gets a missile fired at him. So Sherman's coming in. So Sherman's aware that this guy has just landed, so he's firing an AIM-9 to take him out. Excellent fighting. Missiles out for Sherman. Excellent 9G pull. And boom, takes the flank down, well done. And dodges the missiles, very good. Elo, not sure what Elo was trying to do. He just flew into the battle. He flew way too far, got a shot, so I don't know what that was all about. Gotta be careful, you can't fly that close. Gotta do what Sherman does, get your missiles away 2 miles away, then make the 9G pull. Can't go over the target and expect to live. So that was silly. Right, and just P-Man, and I think we're done. P-Man again trying to get a firing solution, just can't get a firing solution. I don't know much about the A-10, so I can't offer him really much advice. Look at those missiles go up. Look at that. That's amazing. In fact, I don't know why they... Oh, and P-Man just crashed. Right. Okay. So, that was a bit disastrous. Good fun, though. Lots of errors to pick up on. Right, so geographical errors we saw from Trash, so that finished off his flight. Any other errors? Obviously, P-Man couldn't get anything on target. Harriers didn't do anything wrong. So the only errors were a bit of geographical, and obviously Sherman's flight never really took part in the battle. So if we go back here, when we were all in, the job these guys were meant to be distracting the Sukhois. Luckily, there were hardly any Sukhois left. So Sherman and Gonzalo were literally 10 minutes too late. So they need to buck their ideas up. We can't have that jeopardising the mission. Everyone else, apart from a small geographical mistake, was bang on the money. So that's it really. We've got some more stuff to learn there. Got to have friendly fire incident. We need to learn from that. Situational awareness. Otherwise, all cool. Hope you enjoyed it and look forward to the next mission.